안녕하세요. 4주 1차 강의를 시작하겠습니다. 오늘은 블록체인과 Distributed Ledger Technologies에 대해서 강의합니다. 블록체인과 분산 원장 기술입니다. 먼저 블록체인이 트랜잭션, 거래에서 왜 중요한지에 대한 동영상을 보시겠습니다.
This is the seller. This is the buyer. This is the middleman. Cutting out the middleman can be a great thing, unless you're the middleman. And there are a lot of middlemen or intermediaries out there. Entire industries, such as payments or securities clearing, have evolved to rely on them. Why? Because they establish trust where there is none. They establish ownership, that the seller has the right to sell what's being sold. They attest to history, that there is a clean transaction history. And they certify ability, that the buyer has the money to buy it. All pretty critical details when you don't know the person on the other side of the transaction. Intermediaries know and trust one another. Their business is based on it, so they have more to lose than gain from breaching that trust. But what if there were a better, cheaper middleman, one that didn't add as much cost, complexity, and chance for error? There might be. It's called blockchain, and it has the potential to disrupt the entire ecology of intermediaries. It's a distributed ledger that relies on large networks of computers that redundantly encode transaction data by solving complex mathematical equations. The secure ledger provides an inviolable record. If the history of an instrument is incorruptible and available to all parties, there's no need for a third party to vouch. Blockchain is proof of ownership, history, and ability in non-centralized encrypted form. It's fast, transparent, and free of error. The question is not whether blockchains can cut out the middlemen in complex transactions, but rather which middlemen and when.
이처럼 블록체인은 트랜잭션, 거래에서 신뢰를 제공함으로써 미들맨, 중개자를 대신할 수 있습니다. 많은 거래에서 블록체인이 사용되게 되면 이것이 세계 경제에 끼치는 영향은 상당히 큽니다. 세계 GDP의 약 10%가 국가의 주권에 미치지 않는 통화에 보관되어 거래되는 미래는 어떤 것일까요? 또는 모든 산업 분야에 거쳐서 실시간으로 세금이 투명하고 자동적인 방식으로 징수되는 미래는 어떤 것일까요? 블록체인 기술의 확산은 역사의 전환점이 될 수 있습니다. 하지만 아직 블록체인 기술과 그 기술의 도입은 초기 단계에 머무르고 있습니다. 동시에 블록체인 네트워크 구조에 대한 의견은 엇갈리고 있으며 거래가 국가 데이터 전송 시스템의 규정에 위반될 수 있다는 사실은 기술의 혜택이 완전하게 꽃을 피우는데 방해 요소가 됩니다. 이 혁신적인 기술을 통해서 신뢰와 거래를 재정립할 수 있는 잠재력을 실현하고자 한다면 집단적 거버넌스와 이해관계자들의 참여, 그리고 많은 오프라인 조정 문제가 선결되어야 합니다. 신뢰 구조의 구축은 분산 원장 기술의 목표입니다. 분산 원장 기술이라는 말이 암시하듯이 블록체인 기술의 핵심은 디지털 기록을 중앙 신뢰 기관 없어도 생성하고 교환할 수 있는 능력입니다. 암호 기술과 P2P 네트워킹을 현명하게 조합함으로써 블록체인 기술은 정보가 정확하고 투명하게 저장 및 공유되도록 합니다. 이에 더해 모든 거래 내역을 확인할 수 있을 뿐 아니라 프로그래밍이 가능한 스마트 계약도 할 수 있습니다. 블록체인 기술은 4가지 이유로 혁명적입니다. 디지털 정보가 복사되고 한계 비용을 거의 들이지 않고도 많은 사람들에게 동시다발적으로 전송됨으로써 디지털 경제의 양날의 검을 극복합니다. 이런 특징은 정보를 공유한 데에는 유용하지만 특별한 가치를 가지거나 확실한 출처가 중요한 무언가를 전송할 때 문제가 발생합니다. 일례로 디지털 화폐나 민감한 정보가 담긴 서류, 중요한 예술품 등이 있을 수 있습니다. 블록체인의 두 번째 혁명적인 특징으로는 분산 원장 기술이 중앙 신뢰 기관 없어도 투명성, 검증 가능성, 불변성을 보장한다는 점입니다. 거래의 세부 사항을 기록하거나 중요 자산의 소유권을 주장할 때 중앙 신뢰기관을 신뢰하지 못하거나 그 방침에 동의하기 어려운 상황이 종종 발생하기 때문입니다. 셋째, 분산 원장 기술은 프로그래밍된 행위를 가능하게 합니다. 즉, 인간이 개입 없어도 자동적으로 거래를 처리, 추적, 검증할 수 있습니다. 알고리즘에 기반을 둔 거래나 자동화된 온라인 거래보다는 진일보한 개념입니다. 블록체인의 스마트 계약은 강우량이 일정 수준을 초과할 때 지불하는 보험 계약과 프로젝트 작업량에 따라 복수의 관계자들에게 자동으로 상금을 수여하는 보상 시스템 같은 상황에서 정보와 자산을 전송하도록 설계할 수 있습니다. 디지털 원장은 포괄적으로 설계할 수 있습니다. 블록체인 거래는 기본적으로 투명하고 안전하며 추적이 가능합니다. 원하는 경우 익명으로 처리할 수도 있습니다. 적어도 사용자 입장에서 블록체인 거래는 전력도 많이 필요 없고 기본적인 소프트웨어, 저장소, 연결망만 있으면 됩니다. 앞서 언급한 블록체인의 네 가지 특징은 독점적이고 지대추구적인 중앙중개자가 요구하는 중개료나 여러 간접 비용 없이 경제활동에 따른 보상을 배분할 수 있음을 의미합니다. 그러나 블록체인은 아직 초기 단계이고 풀어야 될 문제가 많이 있습니다. 관련 동영상을 보시겠습니다.
Blockchain is still in its infancy, but many believe it could revolutionize business and government, creating new foundations for our economic and social systems. Professors Marco Ianciti and Karim Lakhani compare blockchain's possible evolution to that of the Internet Communications Protocols called TCP/IP. TCP/IP was originally invented for small-scale two-way email exchanges, but it ultimately evolved to become the basis for the entire Internet. Similarly, blockchain was invented as a peer-to-peer network that enabled two-way payment transactions of the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. But like TCP/IP, blockchain has outgrown its original purpose. It now has the potential to become the system of record for all internet transactions. In other words, it could become what is called a foundational technology, creating a new technological infrastructure for our economic and social systems. However, this radical change won't happen overnight. Ianciti and Lakhani suggest that blockchain will likely pass through several phases before fully reshaping the economy. First is the single-use phase. Here, the technology is used in applications low in novelty and not requiring coordination among many different parties. For TCP/IP, email was an inexpensive single-use application. For blockchain, Bitcoin offered immediate value to those who used it simply as an alternative two-way payment method. Second is localization. Here, the technology spreads to more novel innovations that need only a limited number of users to create immediate value. We see this now in the financial services sector's use of local private blockchain networks to connect through a distributed ledger. During the third phase, substitution, the technology faces the highest barriers to adoption. It's used in new applications that build on existing ones, but intense coordination is required. For blockchain, think cryptocurrencies that have grown out of Bitcoin. They need widespread adoption to be of any value, but they also pose challenges for governments, institutions, and consumers. In the last phase, transformation, truly novel applications emerge that require coordinating many actors and unifying institutional standards. The most transformative blockchain application to date may be self-executing smart contracts that can automatically trigger a payment to be sent to a supplier as soon as a shipment is delivered. Blockchain faces many hurdles, and executives should think carefully about the risks. However, there's little doubt that blockchain will affect your business. The big question is when to stop experimenting and really press on the accelerator.
버크먼 인터넷 사회센터에서는 현지의 블록체인을 1990년대 초의 인터넷과 비교했습니다. 당시 기술 전문가들과 기업가들은 인터넷의 잠재적 가치나 무한한 사용 방식을 이해하지 못했습니다. 블록체인의 가장 혁신적인 역할은 기술 의존적인 사회와 경제에 적합한 새로운 사회계약에 영향을 줄 수 있는 능력을 활용하여 착취를 방지하고 막는 도구로 사용하는 것입니다. 암호화폐의 장점과 전망에 대한 과도한 기대감에도 불구하고 블록체인은 만병통치약이 아니며 해결되어야 될 과제도 있습니다. 비트코인의 경험을 통해 우리는 어떤 당면 과제가 있는지를 확인할 수 있습니다. 비트코인은 블록체인 기술이 최초로 활용된 세계에서 가장 크고 유명한 암호화폐입니다. 비트코인이 성장하고 확대되면서 수요도 증가합니다. 그러면서 거래의 효율성을 높이기 위해 비트코인 블록체인의 핵심 규칙인 예를 들면 블록의 크기 같은 것을 수정할 필요가 있는지 여부에 대한 참가자들의 의견이 나뉩니다. 중앙화된 거버넌스가 없는 상태에서 참가자들은 규칙의 개정을 요구할 수 있습니다. 이런 경우 참가자들의 그룹이 나뉘고 나름의 이해관계에 따라 서로 다른 대안을 받아들일 수 있습니다. 블록체인 시스템을 구축하는 것은 쉽지 않습니다. 개인이나 조직이 분산 원장을 통해 거래를 시작하기 전에 다음을 포함하여 다양한 이슈에 대해서 동의해야 됩니다. 원장에 표시되는 가치 단위는 무엇일까? 프라이빗 블록체인은 퍼블릭 블록체인에 편승하고 있는가? 어떤 방식으로 원장이 안정적인 거래를 입증하는가? 토큰의 가치는 어떻게 그리고 얼마나 빠르게 생성되는가? 실제 제품을 대상으로 디지털 거래를 할 때 제품을 어떻게 안전하게 식별하면서 디지털 토큰에 태그하고 연결할 수 있을까? 이러한 문제들에 대한 명쾌한 해답은 아직 없습니다. 하지만 토큰 이코노미 안에서 블록체인이 어떤 의미를 가지는지 살펴보는 것은 큰 도움이 됩니다. 분산된 토큰 이코노미에 대한 동영상을 보시겠습니다.
With the ongoing revolution in information technology, our economic systems of organization are being transformed and disrupted by the rise of information networks. Today, this process of economic transformation continues with a new set of technologies as we are currently in the process of remaking the technology stack of the Internet, building what is called Web 3.0, a primary component of which is the blockchain. The defining feature of this next stage of economic development is that it decentralizes our economy and shifts operations to global information-based networks like never before. This distributed Internet technology stack that is currently being built enables a network of computers to maintain a collective database of value ownership and exchanges via Internet protocols. This bookkeeping is neither closed nor the control of one party. Rather, it is public and available in one digital ledger which is distributed across the network. The most mature example of this is what we call the blockchain. In the blockchain, all transactions are logged, including information on the date, time, participants, and amount of every single transaction. On the basis of sophisticated mathematical principles, the transactions are verified by the so-called miners who run the computing infrastructure required to maintain the ledgers. The technology of Web 3.0 enables a new form of decentralized economy as it removes the dependency on a centralized authority for managing the network, instead replacing it with a distributed consensus model managed by many. This shared, securely encrypted database enables trustless, peer-to-peer interactions via new Internet protocols. People can begin to set up their own networks for coordination and direct exchanges of value peer-to-peer, and it enables the rules of these transactions to be automated in new ways. At the heart of this system is the distributed ledger, which records the exchanges of value. These distributed ledgers can account for and validate the exchange of any form of value. It may be a currency, it may be property, it may be a kilowatt hour of energy, the usage of a parking spot, the number of followers a person has on social media. These distributed ledgers provide the infrastructure for building token economies. A token is simply a quantified unit of value. Tokens are both generic and fungible. It is generic in that it can be used to define any form of value, and it is fungible, meaning it is exchangeable between different specific forms of value. Traditional monetary currencies are not fully fungible, as there are many circumstances when one cannot exchange a monetary currency for other forms of value. For example, likes on social media may have a certain value, but typically cannot be directly exchanged for monetary currencies. A token differs from our traditional monetary currency in that it is more generic. Our existing currencies define a particular type of monetary value, what we call utility, which is based upon the economic logic of the industrial economy, while tokens, because they are more generic, can define a broader set of values, social capital, natural capital, or cultural capital. For example, natural capital is the integrity of an ecosystem that enables it to function and provide ecosystems services to people. In our traditional economic model, we only quantify and account for the services that the ecosystem delivers, such as food, water, materials, etc. However, we do not account for the integrity of the ecosystem that enables it to function. The generic nature of the token means it can be used to account for values such as this natural capital. The capacity to differentiate between different forms of value is made possible by the programmability of token units. Because tokens are digital, they are also programmable, which enables one to specify certain rules for that token and have those rules executed when it is exchanged, thus enabling certain constraints or possibilities in its usage. One can specify that a certain token is only spendable under certain terms, or specify how it can be converted. For example, one could program the token so that it cannot be exchanged for diamonds that are mined in a particular location of the world known for its use of slave labor. In this way, the token is not just a unit of utility, but also expresses social values. Likewise, one could create a healthcare allowance in dollars or euros that could be programmed on the blockchain so that it can only be used to pay for healthcare at certified parties. Automating these measures leads to a considerable decrease in bureaucracy. This programmable token system works to shift our economies from a single value model to a multi-value model. They create many different types of value and economies, but still retain the possibility for exchange between them. The distributed web is the convergence of the economic market system with information technology that enables us to convert traditional organizations into distributed markets based on tokens. Tokens define whatever is of value within that organization, and the market system is used as a distributed coordination mechanism for managing and growing that resource. By creating an expanded definition of value and converting closed organizations into open markets, this means that we can vastly expand the scope and capacities of the economy. The provisioning of services within the economy no longer becomes dependent upon a limited number of centralized organizations acting for profit, but instead, anyone can now provide the service via these open protocols. This means we can harness the resources of the many in a distributed fashion instead of being dependent upon a few. Likewise, the token economy can harness the motives of individuals not just for financial rewards, but for a multiplicity of values. To illustrate how this works, let's think about the service of cloud data storage. Currently, this is provided by a limited number of enterprises like Amazon and Microsoft. These centralized organizations have huge data centers, but still, those data centers are only a very small fraction of the storage capacity in the world. Most of the storage is in the personal computing devices of end users, and most of that is not being used. Filecoin is one organization that works to create a distributed token economy for this storage. Filecoin is a decentralized storage network that turns cloud storage into an algorithmic market. The market runs on a blockchain with a native protocol token, also called Filecoin, which miners earn by providing storage to clients. Conversely, clients spend Filecoins hiring miners to store or distribute data. The sum of all these computers that are coordinated through an automatic market system on the blockchain can provide a much larger, more resilient system than the centralized model while reducing redundancy and inefficiencies in the overall system. It also pushes the provision of the service out to the location where it is demanded, as people are connecting peer-to-peer locally instead of going to the centralized server that may be on the other side of the planet. Tokens such as Filecoins can be exchanged for other currencies, or members can hold on to their tokens whose value may appreciate as the networks grow over time. This illustrates a very interesting aspect to tokens. Anyone who uses the system is also an investor in the system. Thus, tokens merge investment capital and liquid exchange capital in new ways. In the traditional capitalist model, we have a divide between owners of capital and workers, a divide between a more fixed investment capital and liquid exchange currencies. The shares in a company are not the same thing as what people get paid with for working in that enterprise and use for everyday exchanges in the market. This creates the notorious divide within the industrial economy described by Karl Marx, between the capitalists that make money off their investments and the workers that have to stay selling their labor for money without ownership. Tokens represent both the inherent value of the community, which is its capital investment, and they are also units of exchange within that ecosystem. The founders of the project issue a number of tokens at inception and sell those. For someone to use the system, they have to buy the tokens. In so doing, they become part investors in the project, but they also use those same tokens to make exchanges within the market. Thus, the people creating the value in the ecosystem are also getting paid in tokens, meaning the workers that are creating the value through their work also have ownership within the organization. In the traditional utility-based exchange of cash, people have no ownership in the organization. They just try to make money, and this can create divides between the owners and the users. The token system works to better align the incentives of the individuals with the overall system because the value of the tokens they earn is also dependent upon the value of the whole. When you are working for a token network, you are both working for yourself and for the whole organization as the two become more aligned, unlike the traditional divide between capitalist and worker. The token system enables networks to overcome the chicken and egg problem. If you are the first user of a network like eBay, then the value would be very low. Thus, it is difficult to get the network started because it has to reach a critical mass before it will be of value to the users. This means that it may require a large investment to create a network. The Silicon Valley model worked by having large initial venture capital backing that enables them to overcome this. But it means that most networks don't get off the ground, and that once a network reaches scale and has value, it becomes dominant and very difficult to compete with, resulting in a lock-in effect and making it easy for large incumbent organizations to become extractive over time. It also means that those who founded the organization win big time. If the network takes off, it creates a winner-takes-all dynamic with most people losing because of the threshold. The token system extends the benefits of being an early adopter of a new network to all the users and thus helps to solve this issue. It does this by issuing tokens for anyone to purchase at the beginning of the project. As the project grows, the tokens come to have greater value for all of the holders. This also works to make the users of the network promoters of that organization because as it grows, the tokens that they hold become more valuable. It incentivizes people to join networks early so as to gain the benefits of the increase in their token value as it grows, which reduces the problem of thresholds. With this, technology companies no longer have to go to traditional capital markets through an initial public offering of shares in the company in exchange for money. But instead, they simply sell tokens directly on the internet to raise initial capital for the project in what is called an initial coin offering, or ICO. This means that founders can monetize their networks directly by simply holding their tokens and making the network useful. To date, we have had an internet patched onto the side of an economy operated through the many centralized organizations of the industrial age, creating a strong contradiction between the underlying technology and the institutional arrangements. The distributed web will work to transform this by merging information networks and economic organization as the flow of information and economic value becomes one. This will greatly reduce our dependency on centralized organizations expanding markets as systems of organization. The global market economy will become available to the many through small distributed peer-to-peer interactions running through web protocols as the decentralized internet takes us a step further into the networked economy.